Has President Joe Biden reached the end of the line? Will he serve out his term, resign, or go officially into a kind of extended care with someone else managing the affairs of state? And if so, who will that person be, and for how long? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another Declaration of Truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. Until this week, speculation like that would have been nothing more than wishful thinking on the part of Joe Biden's political opponents. You might remember that I said way back in November, before midterms, that someone who did indulge in that kind of speculation was blowing smoke. And I'll get to him. But then, Biden's wrongful possession of classified materials came to light. But did they merely come to light, or did someone, or a group of someones, bring it to light deliberately? Before I answer, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. Link in the description. Be sure to check out the awesome CNAV store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there. Especially this t-shirt that I have chosen for today, which reads, "I need new conspiracies, as all the old ones came true." One more thing. If you like this video, you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come out with a new one. In fact, do you see the new icon, the heart shape with the US dollar sign in it? That's the Super Thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, so long as it's legal tender. As shocking as the apparent careless handling, some say theft, of classified documents is, the identity of the breakers of the story is more shocking still. For this story did not come from James O'Keefe's Project Veritas, nor even from that inveterate muckraker Laura Loomer. It came from CBS News, and the further development came from NBC News, and the story of Merrick Garland appointing a special counsel in the Biden case came from the New York Times. All three of these organs have made light of every aspersion anyone has ever cast on Biden, from the results of the election of 2020 to evaluation of his policies after taking office. He could always count on these three organs to tell the people, no, 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 you mustn't doubt our president. That's deleterious to our democracy. Lay aside for a minute that democracy is two wolves and a lamb voting on what's for dinner. Why then do they break the one story Biden can least afford to have broken? A story that reveals the utter hypocrisy, not only of Biden himself, but of all his allies as well. For this president, in the middle of accusing his predecessor of gross negligence in handling classified material, had done it himself. And what he cannot excuse is that he did it while a private citizen. Furthermore, he did it after stepping down from an office that did not give him the power to declassify anything. Consider the timeline, not only of events, but of their revelation. November 2nd, 2022, Biden's personal attorneys find the first cache of classified documents at the Penn Biden Center. November 3rd, 2022, the National Archives repossesses the documents. November 4th, 2022, the Justice Department receives notice of the affair. November 9th, 2022, the FBI enters the case. And November 14th, 2022, Attorney General Merrick Garland tasks U.S. Attorney Dave Lausch to investigate. December 20th, 2022, Biden's personal attorneys inform Lausch of the second cache in a garage in a house that may or may not be in Biden's name, stored next to Biden's personal automobile, a late model Chevrolet Corvette. January 6, 2023. Lausch informs Garland that he must appoint a special counsel. January 9, 2023. CBS News breaks the story of the first cache. January 11, 2023. NBC News breaks the story of the second cache. And January 12, 2023. Attorney General Garland appoints U.S. Attorney Richard Hur as special counsel. Now, apparently, Lausch will shortly resign as U.S. Attorney for Northern Illinois, if he hasn't already, so he may not serve as special counsel. Garland also said that Biden's former Penn Biden Center office was not authorized for the storage of classified documents. Now have a look at Garland. Why is Garland so quick to appoint a special counsel? He could have stalled through the election and told Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri to demand and be, well, sent to the other place. But he didn't. And furthermore, he named another Trump appointee, and one with a reputation for prosecuting Democrats. What is likely to happen next? Before I answer, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. Do you feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You are not alone. The fluctuating economy, employment issues, and unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities this company provides, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursilverlines.com to learn how you can build a legacy for your future. My good fellow influencer Stephen Turley, PhD, speculated that the powers that be will quietly hide Biden in his Delaware home. Someone else will manage things at the White House. Perhaps they will bring bills, draft executive orders, and other documents to his home for signature. I have a link in the description to a recorded live stream in which he made free with that kind of speculation. The closest historical precedent for such a policy, and the parallels are by no means exact, came from Edith Bowling Galt Wilson. When her husband Woodrow suffered a stroke, for at least one solid year, she kept his condition secret. She managed the affairs of state, even to holding cabinet meetings in the White House residential quarters. She also decided what and whom to bring to Woodrow Wilson's personal attention. Small wonder, then, that some wags call her the first woman president. But Jill Biden is not fulfilling that role. According to, forgive the phrase, a person familiar with the situation, Ambassador Susan Rice manages the affairs of state. She has been managing the affairs of state from the beginning. Rice does not sign anything, but one can readily imagine her presenting bills, EOs, and such to Biden for him to sign. Anyone who has ever managed an elderly relative's affairs without getting a durable power of attorney knows what I'm talking about and knows what that's like. That's what Rice Day must be like. But that doesn't faze her. There is power, real power in that role. Rice even carries an official title, Director of the Domestic Policy Council. Let not Biden's heartfelt, often vindictive and vituperative public statements fool you. A man can speak from the heart, even a black heart, and still be a puppet on a string. But can the PTBs risk Biden remaining that passive? That's actually an open question. Thus far, Ambassador Rice has stayed totally in the background. Powers behind the throne usually are so content. But Biden has not only one powerful woman in his orbit, but two. The second is Vice President Kamala Harris. Unlike Rice, Harris could put herself into a position in which she could run the affairs of state directly in her own name and by her own signature. Now that would require two kinds of event, or one of two events that would shake the country. First, Kamala Harris gathers the signatures of a majority of the cabinet on a written declaration that the president is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office. If that happens, Kamala Harris becomes acting president. Rumors had her trying to gather signatures after Afghanistan fell to pieces. In August of 2022, Representative Madison Cawthorn of North Carolina circulated a letter to Harris urging her to gather signatures. But this procedure has a catch. The president could contest the declaration, whereupon the vice president and her cabinet majority would have to double down on it. Even so, Congress would then decide the issue. Congress would have 24 hours to affirm the vice president's declaration by 2/3 of both houses. Why might Biden contest the declaration? Because Ambassador Rice would tell him to. If Kamala Harris gains the power of attorney in this way, that diminishes Rice. Even her directorship of the Domestic Policy Council would not make up for her loss of the presentation power. The power to shove a paper in front of Biden and say sign, and he signs. Well, if Harris can sign, who needs Rice? The second event depends not on Section 4 of Amendment 25, but Section 1. You know how it reads, quote, "In case of the removal of the president from office, or of his death or resignation, the vice president shall become president," close quote. Removal or resignation after the threat of removal would be the goal. And that's where those classified documents come in. The situation is already so serious that Representative Hank Johnson from Georgia's 4th District has already suggested that Republicans planted those documents in Biden's former Penn Biden Center office and his garage. This same man once suggested that Guam might literally capsize from so many refugees standing on one shore of it, so perhaps one ought not take him seriously. Except for one thing. Suppose he is correct about the planting, erring only in whom he accuses of it. Suppose Biden's own people have planted those documents all along. Biden professes surprise that those documents are anywhere in his possession and doesn't even know what they contain. Now, true, one might put that down to faulty memory. Biden does tend to forget much else. But no one can remember that which did not happen. In fact, on the very day Merrill Matthews of the Hill speculated openly about Harris invoking Section 4, Biden's personal attorneys were finding classified documents in his old civilian office. Whoa! You know whose rule I'm going to quote, don't you? The Ian Fleming rule, that's what. Do I have to tell you again how that goes? Once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, and the third time it's enemy action. When Merrill Matthews said that, I thought he was blowing smoke, but was he? Stay tuned. Links in the description of the article, to Stephen Turley's video, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account, and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the Elston CNAV store and to rsilverlines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. On the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel and links to my earlier video on Biden taking the documents, and to a video I did 2 months back about Merrill Matthews blowing smoke, and to Stephen Turley's video today, yesterday, speculating on what might be in store for Biden. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.